Hello there. Welcome to this Tech Talk. Humphrey Perry is my name and I am Advocate RK here, Vultr. In today's Tech Talk, we'll get to discuss monitoring real-time application performance using Grafana, Prometheus, and Uptime Kuma Vultr Marketplace applications, which will enable you actually have some real-time data reporting and enable user experience management. And to begin with, why monitor your applications? Application monitoring enables the continuous reporting and management of your application processes. It enables the discovery of application issues and bottlenecks to help you improve the end-user experience, since you'll have a ton of data to choose from to monitor their behavior on your web application or server. Application monitoring also gets to increase your user engagement through tracking of performance metrics, load time, and resource usage of your instances to actually know what your users need, how they perform, how they interact with your applications, and how you can actually improve your instance performance or application to actually provide them with a much better experience. And one of the applications that actually enable you to perform application monitoring is Grafana. Grafana is an open source monitoring and analytics platform that visualizes data in form of graphs for improved reporting and better understanding of your performance metrics. It integrates with other external sources such as Prometheus to actually enable some real-time data monitoring and collection of application data in a much unified way. Prometheus, on the other hand, is an open source monitoring and analytics application that uses a time series database to actually capture some metrics from your applications or servers. So if you have a database server or have an actual server that is running your web applications, you can integrate a Prometheus exporter to actually get to capture some metrics data that is best understood by Grafana for visualization and creation of high performance dashboard that you can best understand. Prometheus also gets to support data scraping and a multi-dimensional data model, which helps you store metrics as labels in your environment. Commonly, Prometheus is used together with Grafana and another application called Alert Manager to form what's popularly known as the observability stack. The observability stack has a couple of components that actually get to help you keep notified and monitor your application performance. And also, another application that actually enables us to monitor some application performance is Uptime Kuma. Uptime Kuma is an open source status monitoring application with real-time alerts for your sites that it could be tracking or specific ports on your server. It sends continuous keep-alive packets to these services to monitor their responsiveness and uptime before reporting in a well-customized web administration dashboard that you can use to actually view this data and keep track of historical performance data to improve your general user experience management or application performance. And so, based on this background, let me take you right into a demo where we shall actually deploy Grafana, Prometheus, and Uptime Kuma Vultr Marketplace applications to monitor another server, which could be a Vultr Marketplace application for WordPress that we would like to actually view how the system is performing and the general uptime of this application. And so, without any further ado, let's jump right into this demo process. Let's first of all access the server deployment page in your Vultr account. Simply click Products, Compute, and click Deploy. So let's go ahead and select the instance type. Select a Vultr location such as Paris, France for my case. Select a location that is actually much closer to you. And right within the Marketplace apps, within this Choose Image section, just enter the target Marketplace app, for example, Prometheus. So right within the Choose plan, let's select the instance size. For instance, I'll maintain this instance with 4 GB of RAM. And right within additional features, let's actually go ahead and enable a very important feature, which is Virtual Private Cloud. Vultr VPC enables a private networking interface that you can actually use to communicate with other network hosts that actually link to this instance. So let's go ahead and enable VPC, and let's give this server host name a very nice name for easy identification, such as Prometheus instance, and click Deploy now. So repeat the process for all instances for Uptime Kuma and Grafana. So as you may see in my Vultr account, this instance is already deployed. So right within the management page for each of these applications, so you can see that my Uptime Kuma instance is ready the Prometheus instance is ready, and I have some login credentials that we shall use to actually go ahead and access the control panel. We also have the Grafana instance, which is ready with a control panel that we can access on port 3000. So let's first off go ahead and access this Grafana control panel. So just open this in a new tab, and right within this login page, let's copy the username, which is admin, and copy the password without any spaces. So enter the username here, and let's paste in the password to access this Grafana dashboard. So you can see we have access to the Grafana dashboard, which is nice and easy. However, we do not have any data sources, and this is where Prometheus actually comes in. So let's go ahead and access the Prometheus dashboard right here, and right within the page, just copy these credentials because you will be required to use them when asked in a basic authentication field. So let's just open this in a new tab. And since I have already authenticated with Prometheus, you can see that I have access to the Prometheus dashboard right here. And right within Prometheus, we are not actually fetching any data from any service or instance. So if you just click status and navigate down here to targets, you'll see that we have the local host being tracked by Prometheus. So let's replace this with our WordPress server, which is actually running and has this welcome page that has not been set up. So let's go ahead and set up this WordPress application that we shall actually be tracking to make sure that the server performance is optimal and all services are up and running. So just click continue, and let's give it a nice title such as Greetings from Vultr with an admin username and a sample email. So let's just go ahead and click install WordPress. Click login. We're not interested in logging in, so we shall just go ahead and access the main page. So you can see that we have a nice Greetings from Vultr WordPress page that we shall be tracking with Prometheus and visualizing the data with Grafana. So right within Prometheus, we are going to make some changes, and to make some of those changes, we'll have to go right into the server's SSH session. So right within my SSH session, I have access to the Prometheus instance, the Grafana instance, the Uptime Kuma instance, and the target WordPress server that we shall be monitoring with all these applications. So right within Prometheus, just to set up monitoring, let's first of all verify the VPC address for Prometheus, which is 10.24.96.3. And the target application you'd like to monitor has a VPC address of 10.24.96.6. So we don't need to actually hit the internet in order to have monitoring data. So let's first of all enable communications between these interfaces. For instance, let's ping the Prometheus instance from the target instance that we'd like to monitor. So the Prometheus instance has a network address of .3, so let's go ahead and ping it from the WordPress server. You can see that we have some communication from the Prometheus instance, and likewise, if we are to do the same, we will get a communication from the WordPress server from the Prometheus instance. So you can see that we have a communication between the Prometheus instance and the WordPress server. However, uncomplicated firewall is available on these servers by default and active on all Vultr servers. So let's just go ahead and allow all communications from the VPC network interface, which is ENP8S0, as you can see right here. So this will allow us to actually run the Prometheus ports without actually having to experience any blockers. So if you go into the Prometheus instance right here and we do the same, because we shall need our Prometheus monitoring with Grafana. So if we just do sudo ufl in on enp8s0 to any. So now that we have a VPC communication between Prometheus and the WordPress server, let's go into the Prometheus data directory, which is etc Prometheus. And right within it, let's open the prometheus.yaml file and with sudo privileges. So in order to actually write some files here, so let's just go into the static configs and change this address to our WordPress VPC address. So which is 96.6, and we'll like the Prometheus port which runs on 9100. So we have set up Prometheus to actually capture some data from the WordPress server. However, this will not capture any data since Prometheus expects a /metrics endpoint on this server. So to do that, let's just go into the Prometheus exporters page. You can see Prometheus has a couple of exporters for Memcached, MySQL, or whichever you prefer. So we are only interested in the node exporter, which will allow us to actually monitor this Linux instance. So let's download this file, extract content from it, and if we switch to the new directory, and there is a new file right here called node exporter, so let's run it as a background process in order to avoid interrupting our session. So as you can see, we have this node exporter listening on the default port 9100 as we have specified it in our Prometheus.yaml file. So let's just go ahead and restart Prometheus in order to have this data or to have this change reflected in our dashboard. And so now that we have done a restart, let's just go ahead and refresh this page a little bit and see if we actually have some changes on the Prometheus dashboard. You can see that we have a new VPC address right here and its state is unknown. Let's just refresh this page a little bit and see if Prometheus will actually verify and get the instance state. So you can see that we have the state changed to up. Prometheus is actively monitoring this instance, and you can see it using the metrics endpoint, which is supported by the node exporter. So you can see that right into the metrics, you can monitor a couple of types that are available on the instance. And if you execute, you see that the data you get, it's not visual enough. And that's where Grafana actually comes in. So let's go right into this Grafana dashboard and let's add a new data source. Select Prometheus, which is the first item on the list. And now let's add the Prometheus VPC address. And just to verify again, the Prometheus VPC address is 10.24.96.3. So let's go ahead and add it right here. And it uses the port 9090, just like the Prometheus web administration dashboard. So right into the authentication field right here, let's click basic authentication and let's add the Prometheus user and copy this generated password within the instance management page. And let's paste it right here and navigate down here and click save and test to see if we actually have a connection. So you can see that we have successfully queried the Prometheus API and we can go ahead to build a dashboard. So building a dashboard in Grafana may take you a couple of moments to actually monitor it in your desired manner. So let's just go ahead and get some pre-built dashboards. So right within the Grafana dashboards repo, let's select Node Exporter Full, which is designed for Linux servers. And to use it, let's just copy its ID. If we go right into Grafana, click Dashboards and click New, Import. Let's add this ID here and click Load. So you can see that we have been detected as the Node Exporter Full dashboard, which is a template. So let's select our Prometheus data source and click Import. So you can see that it's fetching some data from Prometheus, and as you may see, Grafana is now actively visualizing our data that it's receiving from Prometheus, and Prometheus is receiving this data from our WordPress server. So you can see we have the RAM used, which is the memory, swap memory, rootfs, and the CPU time. So you can actually go ahead and expand most of these tabs to actually view these processes in a much detailed way possible. So now that we have Grafana and Prometheus integrated, we are actively monitoring the server processes. You can see that we have some memory of 2 GB and some memory of 5 GB, which is all available. So let's go ahead and actually manage Uptime Kuma with our WordPress site. So let's go ahead and access the Uptime Kuma panel. In order to create a new user, just accept this SSL warning, click continue in order to actually proceed with Uptime Kuma. And let's set up a new admin user with a fairly strong password. So let's click create, and you can see we have access to the Uptime Kuma dashboard. And yet again, let's add a new monitor. So right within the monitor type, let's keep HTTPS selected, but you can choose any other from the list of options right here to monitor your instance. Let's give this a friendly name such as Greetings from Vultr WordPress app. And let's use the VPC address of the WordPress server, which is 10.24.96.6, just to verify that in our SSH session, when you run an IP check, you will see that we have 10.24.96.6 and all incoming connections on the VPC interface are allowed. So let's just select the heartbeat interval, which is the time Uptime Kuma will take to actually query for a result and check or send keep alive packets. So right within here, let's go ahead and ignore the TLS warning since we have not fully set up this WordPress site with a valid domain to use SSL certificate. And now let's click save and see if we actually have some monitoring data. So you can see right within here that the status is up, and Uptime Kuma is actually currently monitoring this application with an uptime ratio of 100%. So this means that our application is running without any issues. And just for reference, this is the WordPress app again that has a greetings from Vultr page with a default WordPress template that you can actually go ahead and modify to your needs. So right within this Uptime Kuma, let's verify if it's actually monitoring this data in real time. Let's just go ahead and stop the web server on the WordPress server. So in this case, I did deploy the WordPress server using the OpenLightspeed app from the Vultr Marketplace application. OpenLightspeed uses LSWS, and let's see the status. You can see that it's active and running and actively serving data on this WordPress server. So let's just go ahead and stop it, and let's monitor this progress right within the Uptime Kuma dashboard. So after 20 seconds, which is the time that we set right here to check for the site status, Uptime Kuma will have to change to down, as it has done so, and you can see that we have a connection reset. So it means that Uptime Kuma cannot access this application, as so do your users. So anytime your web application is down, Uptime Kuma will alert you. You can actually set up alerts to either your mobile device or your email and have these alerts right delivered to you. So let's just start it again and see if Uptime Kuma actually goes ahead and captures that. So just give this a moment to start. So right after that, we started the web server again. You can see in Uptime Kuma, it will change to the status up. Let's just give it 20 seconds to verify this change. And now you can see that it's up. So this means we can access our WordPress site again without any errors. So anytime your application is down, Uptime Kuma will go ahead and update the status of this web application and actually send you an alert depending on your settings. And so in this Tech Talk, we have set up Uptime Kuma to actually monitor the status of our WordPress application. And Grafana is actually visualizing our data that we are receiving from Prometheus to see the actual system status. So anytime our CPU usage is high, this CPU usage bar will go high. You can actually go to the Grafana dashboards repository to find any other dashboards that you may be interested in other than Node Exporter Full. So right within our Grafana interface, you can see that we have all the data that we need to monitor the status of our WordPress server. And so, by using Grafana together with Prometheus and Uptime Kuma, you can keep track of your application's performance by querying the server status and actually verifying if your users can actually access this web application as you would. And so, I hope you did find this Tech Talk useful. If you did, I'd like to thank you for watching and see you in the next Vultr Tech Talk. Once again, thank you for watching.